Hello and welcome back to episode 35. The last episode was incredibly successful. Plenty of national jerseys here in the team at the moment, so we're hoping to see those back in today's episode with plenty of races and plenty of excitement where we will try and also get many more points so we can climb up into that point ranking of the teams. And we have the point ranking right here. The team ranking where we are currently in 15th, a big gap behind us, so we don't have anything to fear from them at this moment, but we are so close to moving up here towards some other teams. So we're trying to get there, and we're starting off today's episode with the CBU Cycling Tour, obviously with our time trialists and mountain riders, so Paul Fitzke and Diego Casaniga. I'm hoping for them to perform here. The second and third stage is where it will matter the most, and the fourth stage is a team time trial, which I will probably simulate because, again, no idea how those works. I don't think anyone really knows how those works. Starting off with the time trial, of course, one fit for Paul Fitzke, then two mountain stages, so I'm hoping for Jaewon Jun or Paul Fitzke to do well there in those stages. Next up, we have an 8-stage tour, so a very long tour here with the tour of the magnificent Qinghai. Plenty of our mountain riders and puncheurs here with us today. Once again, Grégoire Baptiste and Noah Isidore fit for those mountain stages and some flat stages here as well, where I'm hoping that either Heyo or some of our other riders will perform and steal some points away from the other riders. The first four stages has one mountain stage, and the next four stages also have a mountain stage here. So stage 4 and 6 will be the defining ones in this tour. I don't think the others will matter too much. I think it is good for sprints. Many of those will definitely end up in a mass sprint. Hopefully we can steal away some points there, UCI points from the other riders, but I think the defining factor will be stage 4 and 6. Those mountain stages, they aren't too long, but they are rather steep here. And next up, we have another hill stage or mountain tour, basically. It is the Tour of Austria. Plenty of hills here in this tour. And that third stage with the mountains in the middle and that uphill section will be one fit for, once again, I'm hoping, Paul Fitzke or Jaewon Jun. These races are being rid basically at the same time, so I had to split up my teams. That's why they are so divided. That's why I have these riders selected for these stages. Hoping, once again, for our mountain riders to do well here in this stage. And maybe Severin can steal away some points in the other stages. Let's start it off here with the time trial. Hoping to get a good result here, obviously with Paul Fitzke or Casaniga Diego, who are two of her time trialists here. Obviously, Paul Fitzke, weathered, has experience, knows how these races work, so I'm hoping on a German rider to perform, show himself here in these stages. It's only 1.9 kilometers, so it's not a very long time trial. That should fit his profile rather well. I don't think he's one for the endurance ones. He is one for the short but sweet ones. He has good statistics for them, so I'm hoping for him to do well here. And of course, you're going along with Paul Fitzke, hoping for him to get a good result here. 2 minutes and 20 seconds here for those 2 kilometers, so people are riding really faster in this tour, and is basically an all-out race here for Paul Fitzke. Basically start from beginning to finish, it is just all out, and he gets across the line as second. Probably could have pushed him a little bit more, but 1 second different here between Paul Fitzke and the number 1, and that is the 1 second that will also stay. A 6th place for Casaniga Diego, so great job here by our Italian rider, actually ending up in 6th, unexpected here. Obviously I was hoping for him to do well, but I didn't expect a 6th place here for him, so great job. Christoph Kroll also not a big difference here, 11 seconds behind the number 1, looking very strong. And I think our worst rider here is Kim Sung-bom, 26 seconds to the number 1. So with 3 stages to go, there's a lot to play for here. We are in a pretty strong position. Our riders are very good in these mountainous terrains or in these hilly terrains, so I'm hoping for Paul Fitzke, Jaewon Jun to do well, supported obviously by our other riders. Hoping for them to get some good results, gain some bonus seconds, and move up in that general classification. 1 second of a difference between the number 1 and 2. That should be easy to basically diminish, and should be able to get the lead rather quickly. 88 kilometers or 89 kilometers here in the second stage. A mountainous stage should be one for the climbers.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. This morning, some of the riders were carrying wide smiles. It goes without saying that it was neither the sprinters nor those who prefer the flat. Yes, it was the climbers. And the reasons were obvious. With today's conditions, the spotlight will be on them.
A very long intro by the commentator. Finally, I'm happy to have these long intros here in this game. I think that's very interesting to have. And I'm sending out Diego Casaniga, hoping to get some bonus seconds. You see there are 3 intermediate sprints. That means 3 opportunities for bonus seconds. He is only 4 seconds behind, so maybe he can get those bonus seconds and get a good result here in the breakaway. Again, not a very long stage here, only around 90 kilometers. So nothing too special here for our rider. It should mean that he can do a good result here in this stage if the peloton lets him. But the peloton is right on his heels, as you can see. And he does manage to sprint away once again with 2 other riders who outsprint him very easily. Casaniga is not or Diego, I should say, is not a very good sprinter. He, again, is one for the mountains. So, yeah, the sprinting, not for him, getting 1 additional bonus second at least. While we do end up here towards that second intermediate sprint, you see the gap diminishing. The riders not wanting to cooperate once again. A good sprint here from Diego, but the other riders are just much stronger in the sprint statistics, and he gets another second here in this stage. 2 additional bonus seconds here for Diego, who still needs to survive all the way up this mountain, as we have set up now for that 3rd intermediate sprint. Some riders also trying to get away here, try to get some bonus seconds, but Paul Fietske gets the 3 seconds here in the intermediate sprint. A great start here for Paul Fietske, but it is at the beginning of this mountain, so maybe it was better to save some energy. Christoph Kroll getting another bonus second here as well, so great job here for our Czech sprinter, making sure that he gets an additional bonus seconds, 11 seconds off the lead, so hoping that that could help him out in the general classification. But the mountain takes its toll, as you can see. We lost a lot of energy towards that sprint. Maybe it wasn't the best idea. A lot of riders actually sprinting away here, around 8 riders sprinting away with over 7 kilometers to go. So what I want to do is just make sure and pace with Jaewon Jun and Paul Fietske, get them towards that mountaintop. It is a very, very difficult stage here for us. We are taking our sweet time and hoping to just outpace the other riders, ride our tempo, make sure that we get a bit of an advantage on the energy perspective here on these other riders. Paul Fietske thankfully even gaining some energy thanks to that energy gel here in this mountain climb. Still 5 kilometers remaining, and with a couple of kilometers to go, we'll kind of see where we will end up. And at the 3 kilometer mark, you see the energy for Jaewon Jun is done. He guided Paul Fietske for 4 kilometers all the way up this mountain, and now Paul Fietske needs to do it himself here in the last 3 kilometers. A lot of the riders that went up ahead have been caught back. Other riders trying to jump forward now use that energy, a little bit of energy that they've gotten back now. While again, Paul Fietske just tries to move forward, tries to get into a better position here and there, tries to make sure that he decreases the gap towards those front riders. Jaewon Jun still regaining a little bit of energy, moving forward even more. I just want to conserve some energy with Paul Fietske, but apparently it seems to be difficult for him to actually do so. Trying to stick on here in this group, other riders carrying him forward. He gains a little bit of energy back finally, while we pick up some other riders here and there. Still a couple of riders up front here. 500 meters remaining for the front rider, a kilometer here for Paul Fietske, a very steep kilometer here for us in the final part of this race. We're trying to move forward as much as possible, trying to use up all our energy, but we use it slightly too quickly here. Other riders jumping forward, and it does not seem like a good result here for us in this second stage of this race. Moving forward ever so slightly, but again, not a top 10 position in the second stage here of the CBU Cycling Tour. We will lose time on the front riders here, while Paul Fietske just tries to do everything that he can to make it towards that finish line. Used all of his energy, has nothing left here for the final section of this race. He had 1 second advantage on the number 1, but I think that 1 second advantage is now totally gone here, and he will have to fight in the next 2 stages to get towards a good result in this tour. Jaewon Jun also getting across the line here as 23rd, so not the best result here for the team at this moment. You see Paul Fietske ending up in 18th. That moves him down by 7 positions, currently in 9th in the general classification, losing out a lot of positions here in this race, so not ideal. Jaewon Jun, thanks to his excellent riding, moves up a ton of positions. Did not do very well in the time trial, but basically makes it up in this mountain stage. One of the better mountain riders obviously in the team, one of the better mountain riders here in this tour as well, moving up a lot of positions. And we still have 2 stages left to go. One is the team time trial, so nothing much for us to do there, but the next stage will be a very important one for our riders. We'll do our best there to get as good of a result as possible and hopefully gain some time here in the general classification. In this 3rd stage of the CBU Cycling Tour, look at that stage, 180 kilometers with that mountain at the end. It will be a very difficult one. for our climbers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. A mountain terrain that commands respect, and only a strong man will have what it takes. It's certainly not a task for weak or ill-prepared riders.
And I think we are excellently prepared. Look at those statistics for Diego and Paul Fietske. J1 June sadly not doing as well, a -2 here for him, while I send out Diego once again to try and cover off any breakaways. I don't think they'll make it towards the end.
But who knows?
Exactly, who knows? You never know who makes it towards the end of this race with a decent lead. Again, I don't think it will be the breakaway, but I might as well give it a chance for Casaniga Diego, who has fantastic statistics today. And in the meantime, we'll just defend the remainder of our riders in the peloton. No real reason for us to send any of those out while we have that mountain towards the end. So especially Paul Fietske, we'll defend him here in this mountain stage. And you join us now with a bit over 8 kilometers to go. The mountain actually has been going rather well. There's a bit of a group up ahead, but we are riding our tempo up front here in this peloton. Other riders are trying to jump away, trying to attack here. Still 7.5 kilometers to go. I know how far it is, but they just wasted so much energy here in this race. So I wish them a lot of luck. I'm sure that they won't be able to stick on here at the excruciating pain that we are putting on this peloton at this moment. Really pushing on forward. Well, there is still a group of 3 riders up ahead, around a minute ahead, with 6 kilometers left to go. It will flatten a little bit, but I don't think they will make it all the way towards the end. They must be pushing very, very hard as well, while we are just cruising up this mountain bit by bit, making sure that we can deliver our top riders at the top of this mountain. You see Kim Song-bom also already exhausted. Most of our riders did an excellent job here in this stage. Still 4 kilometers remaining. The gap is slowly decreasing here towards that front group. Riders are falling off the back, as I have predicted. This is not the stage for those attacks. This is not the mountain to attack on. You want to follow for as long as possible, try to conserve as much energy as possible. You see the riders in the breakaway here also depleting energy. Other riders here up front trying to attack now, trying to move forward, using so much energy here to try and position their riders all the way up front here. It does flatten out in this section, but there is another quite steep hill there towards the top. I wish them a lot of luck here in this last kilometer, where I try to sprint now with Paul Fietske. He's giving it his all. He's giving all his energy here towards that finish line. It's looking amazing here for Paul Fietske. The sprint was excellently timed. Other riders used too much energy slightly earlier in this mountaintop. And there we go, a win here for Paul Fietske. An excellent race here for our rider. Really, really good job. 10 bonus seconds here for him on the yellow jersey. I don't know how much of a difference that will make. I think there was a pretty big gap for above 2 minutes here for our rider. The beautiful jersey here, the national jersey of J1 June, the beautiful jersey on Paul Fietske as well, making sure that these riders have so much more energy than they would usually have. I wish those national jerseys would also transfer to these celebration stages, because they do deserve it. Look at Paul Fietske in the KoRail jersey. It would be much better in a KoRail jersey that also showed the national, or the German national jersey as well. The trophy and the flowers for a German rider who did an excellent job here in this 3rd stage of the CBU Cycling Tour. Same time as many of these other riders, of course. J1 June ending across the line a little bit later, 47th as well. Diego as well after almost 1.5 minutes. But a great result here, honestly, for our riders. Really pushing on here in this race. Really putting a lot of tempo here on the peloton. About 4 minutes behind the peloton, or behind a bunch of other riders. Behind Paul Fietske have a bunch of our riders across the finish as well, so nothing too important there. But this result here moves Paul Fietske up by 3 places, so a really good job here by our German rider. 2.5 minutes off the number 1. So with the team time trial, I don't think we will win this stage, but I'm pretty happy with that top 10 result here in this race, especially after those first 2 stages. A lot of our other riders also moving up. Again, a fantastic result here by most of our team, really showing that they did a good job. Even the sprinters moving up a lot of positions here. Great result here for our team today. We are all the way up into 1st place in the points jersey, so that's a great result here for us. A lot of points here at this mountaintop. Also 1st in the mountain classification, so great job here by Paul Fietske getting those 2 jerseys at this moment. I don't think the team time trial will give any points, so we should have those 2 mountain jerseys, or those two jerseys secure here. As you see here, a team time trial. I don't know how to do these, so I'm just going to do a quick simulation, and we'll see where we will end up. And it is not in front, which is an issue. We ended up a minute and 5 seconds behind the number 1 team. That moves us down by 3 positions, a top 9 here for us in the end. A poor result here in the team time trial. Again, no idea how this works, no idea what it's based upon. I'm sure that, you know, other teams are just better time trialists in general. I feel like we would have done a bit better here with Paul Fietske than most of the other riders, but again, it is a team time trial, so not the result that we wanted here for us today. The points jersey and the mountains jersey are secure though. We don't win the young riders jersey, sadly, as there's one rider just a little bit better than us here in this race. And we end up not winning the team competition as well, and that's totally okay here, honestly. 2 jerseys here for us and a top 10 result in the general classification. I am happy with that. 25th place here for Jae-won Jun as well, so not too shabby here for our little Korean team. Now on to the Tour of Magnificent Qinghai. 8 stages here for us, and this stage says that it's flat, but you see those hills and mountains there towards the end, or towards that 70% mark. It will be a difficult day here for the sprinters, but it should end up in a mass sprint. It goes downhill, and then everyone should try and sprint here for victory.
The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton.
Again, stage 4 and 6 in this tour will be the defining stages here. Those are the mountain stages for us today. Baptiste Gregard looking absolutely horrendous in the statistics, so I want to try and send him out. Maybe he can get some bonus seconds or get a good result here in this stage. It is a bit of a mountainous terrain there in the middle, so if he can get into a breakaway with enough time, I'm sure that he can get a good result, but that means that he needs to get into a breakaway first, and you see the peloton riding after Baptiste Gregard. I don't think that will happen. In the meantime, we'll defend the riders here that have good results. Joseph Turnbull looking very, very strong today. And Noah Isidoro also not looking strong, but he is one of our main contenders here in this race. Hoping for good results here with our French rider, once again, who has been very, very strong in the past episodes as well for our team. Baptiste Gregard actually makes it towards that first intermediate sprint, but guess what? His sprint statistics are not super great, so he does not win it, but he does at least get a bonus second here for the team. So great job here by our French rider. About a minute and a half towards the peloton, so no chance for us to really get a good result here with Baptiste Gregard. While we get into that descent section here, a little bit over, or a little bit under 8 kilometers to go. You see us sprinting here towards that front. It wasn't really our goal to sprint there, but you know, I'm happy to do so while we head into that downhill section, and we should be pushing here with the team. A lot of our riders here already used up their energy trying to push down this hill section, and once again I lost the front of this stage. I don't know what's happening here with our riders. We keep kind of sitting up and not moving forward, and that is not ideal here in this stage. We want to move forward towards the front. It is a downhill section, so there's not a lot of energy lost here in this final section. I maybe should have sprinted here already. Other riders are way more up front here, while Owen Cole makes a huge effort to try and get towards the front. Other riders sprinting rather early here. I should have done the same. We sprint a little bit too late here with our other riders. A bit of a group here at the front, getting a gap on the main peloton. It slowly closes once again with the sprinting ahead of us, but not a good result here for us in this first stage of the Tour of Magnificent Qinghai. Not even a top 10 here for us. We do get a bunch of riders here in a top 20. Owen Cole and Noah Isidoro in that top 20 position, but that does not mean that we get a good result here in this stage. Baptiste Gregard actually in 9th thanks to that one bonus second. Joseph Turnbull, Noah Isidoro in 15th and 17th. Once again, not a great result here for the team. 3 riders actually in the top 20 for us here in this race. 1 rider now in the top 10 in the general classification. That does not a lot for the points here. We are 2nd in the team statistics, so not too bad, but hoping obviously to improve here in this second stage. A very flat stage, but does that look like it's going uphill there at the end? This could be a good stage for Noah Isidoro.
And welcome. It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining, and of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
I don't think we will be those opportunists today. There are no bonus seconds here for us. There are no intermediate sprints here for us. So we might as well just sit here in the peloton and survive towards the end. Try to give it all in that sprint. It looks like a slight uphill there at the end, so it could be a perfect stage here for Noah Isidoro to get that good result here in this stage. Get some bonus seconds there at the end. Owen Cole with incredible statistics today as well. Wish it was a slightly more mountainous terrain here for him. He would have done fantastic. here. Look at those statistics. Really, really good here for our American rider. Well, we get now towards the last 7 kilometers of this race. It will definitely end up in a mass sprint. Obviously, the breakaway has been caught up. I'm using up my support and mountain riders first, as you see me using Hong and Baptiste here as the first couple of riders of our sprint train. We have a lot of riders remaining actually with 5 kilometers left to go, and we are so far up front here in this peloton. We are looking very, very strong here today in this race. 4 kilometers remaining, and once again we are pushing hard here at the front of this train. Plenty of riders remaining as well. You see me just switching off now as Heo has done his pull, going now with 4 riders remaining in these last 2 kilometers. I feel like we can do a massive sprint here with a lot of our riders, making sure that we can do a good result here for most of them. Sprinting rather early here, but we are on a good roll here with our riders. You see me messing up the sprint with Noah Isidora a little bit here, not able to sprint in time. He has a lot of energy, or well, a bit of energy left here towards his finish line, but Florian Carpentier does an incredible sprint here actually. I did not notice him doing that. Well, our lead out man sprinting at the opportune time, being very, very strong here towards the finish line, and our kind of French support rider here sprinting towards a first place in the second stage of the Tour of the Magnificent King High. Owen Cole in second and Noah Isidore in third, so a top 3 for us in the second stage here. Really, really good result here for the team. This should prove a lot of bonus seconds here for the team as well, and I'm wondering what that will do for the general classification. Hopefully it will move us up plenty here in this tour. As you can see, top 3 here for us. The rest of our riders also finishing at the same time here in the team, just a little bit later across the line. Florian Carpentier now in second place, moving up almost 60 positions here. Owen Cole in 4th and Noah Isidora in 11th. Again, I think Owen Cole and Noah Isidora are the riders of today. I'm hoping Baptiste Gregoire will do well as well in those mountain stages, but he has been lacking form in this tour so far. First 2 stages not looking super great here for our French riders, so I don't know how much I can bet on him. 5 riders, I think, at the moment in the top 20 here in the general classification, so that is looking incredible here for us. Obviously 5 riders in the top 10 of the young riders classification as well. We move a lot down here in the team classification for some reason. I'm not sure entirely. Sometimes that seems a bit buggy, but that's fine, as we currently have plenty of riders in that top 20. And this is one of the first stages where it will get a little bit tricky. A big mountain here in the middle, maybe one for the mountain climbers. We'll see how they perform.
The profile of the route is a fairly mixed bag, so everybody should find a section to their pleasing.
Alright, very short intro there from the commentator. Thank you very much. As we have a big mountain here at the beginning, but it basically is downhill from there. So if our sprinter, or if Noah Isidora or Owen Cole or whoever wants to sprint here, can survive the mountain, I'm sure they will do a mass sprint here at the end. For now, we'll sit in the peloton, protect our riders here, make sure that they are fit and ready for that final part of the stage, or basically for the mountain in between. Because we, again, need to survive the mountain first, and then we'll be able to definitely do a good sprint there towards the end. That is what we are counting on here in this race. So you see us defending our main riders here. Baptiste Gregoire, obviously, for those mountain sections. Noah Isidore as well. Noah and Baptiste both have horrendous statistics today, so it's not looking super great for them. Maybe Owen Cole as well. Hopefully he can do something here in the final parts of the stage. And thankfully, everyone got across this mountain rather easily, so we have that lead-out train going. 8 kilometers left to go here. We are in full swing here with the team. Some riders attacking here in this section. I'm not entirely sure, as it isn't a downhill section, so it doesn't really make sense. Our riders will definitely be able to catch up with these riders and make sure that there will be a mass sprint here at the end of this stage. 6 kilometers remaining though, and we have plenty of riders left as well, so we can keep pushing on here with our sprint train. It's unexpected how much energy we have left. I would have thought that mountain would have taken more out of our riders, but we are looking very, very strong here in this race. Making sure to push forward here, making sure that we are ahead of the peloton. 3 kilometers remaining. Once again, we are looking incredibly strong here. 3 riders remaining for less than 2 kilometers left. So plenty of opportunities here to do a good sprint here towards the end. Florian, who did a fantastic sprint the previous stage, doing another sprint here towards the end, launching very late here with our other 2 riders to try and get the jump on the other sprinters. But one sprinter here, the Belgian sprinter, seemingly beats our rider here at the end. Second place here for Noah Isidora, a 6th place also for Florian Carpentier, a 4th for Owen Cole. So pretty good job once again here by our riders. 3 riders in the top 10 here. Great job here, honestly, by them. Honestly, with that name, I thought he was German, but apparently a Belgian rider here beating us towards the line. Congratulations to him. Unable for us to really get a good or get the victory here in this stage, and that is okay. Once again, I thought that mountain would take a larger toll here on our riders. It did not. The bonus seconds moving up Noah Isidora all the way to second place now. Shared time with Florian Carpentier. Owen Cole in a third as well. A really good result here for the team in this stage. Baptiste Grégoire moving down one position thanks to those bonus seconds. We move up in the points classification as well thanks to the points at the end of the line. The mountain points apparently are for Owen Cole. I'm not entirely sure because I don't think we really pushed on there to get them. But hey, you know, mountain jersey for Owen Cole next stage. We'll take it. And in the meantime, 3 riders in the top 10 here of the general classification. Baptiste Grégoire in 13th place as well, all within a 20-second spread here between the number 1 and the number 13. So not too bad here for the team. We're in excellent position here in this race. Plenty of stages still left to go though, so we need to make sure that we keep these positions in this race and make sure that we gain some time here on these other riders. On to stage number 4 of the Tour of Magnificent Qinghai. Once again, very mountainous, so let's see how we'll do.
Mountain stages are especially interesting to watch. It's not by chance that the major events to have marked the history of cycling have taken place on mountainous terrain.
And once again, this is one of the defining stages here in this stage. I am pretty certain it is a not as long stage, 100 kilometers here in this stage, so it should fit our riders, I hope. We will have to see here as a breakaway is being formed here at the beginning of this stage. I'm thinking of maybe sending one of the riders, as there are bonus seconds here at the beginning of the stage. But once again, there are plenty of mountains here and plenty of meters up in the in height here. So I don't know how much effort I want to use here with our riders. Florian Carpentier is all the way up front here in his blue rider's jersey. I think it's the young rider's jersey. So I'm sending him out here into the breakaway to try and get those bonus seconds. Maybe carry him much further here towards the end, but the peloton is tight on our heels, making sure that no rider can escape here of our team, so they catch the breakaway here in this stage. And in the meantime, that means that we will protect our riders once again here in this stage. No riders of ours in the breakaway, no bonus seconds, just making sure that our riders are secure here in this very mountainous stage in this race. And as you can see here towards the end, less than 10 kilometers remaining, it was a very difficult stage here. Baptiste Grégoire and Owen Cole, who has fantastic statistics today, doing really well here. Owen Cole trying to attack in this descent here just over the top of this mountain, making sure that he tries to get a gap here in the last part of this stage. Less than 6 kilometers remaining. My apologies. Here in this race, we are in a downhill section. Of course, it won't be too taxing here for Owen Cole, who just needs to basically let himself fall down this mountain, make sure that he stays in the lead. You see him even regaining some energy, even though he's going an all-out effort here in this race. Baptiste Grégoire trying to annoy the riders behind, trying to make sure that he sticks in the wheel here of these riders, managing both riders at the same time. Other riders of our team obviously far behind. 1 kilometer remaining. Owen Cole seems to be the winner here of this stage. A mighty sprint here towards the end as well. A great result here for our American rider. A great result, winning the 4th stage of the Tour of Magnificent Qinghai. Baptiste Grégoire also finishing in 4th, not the best sprint here for him, and I'm trying to do the same here with our other riders to basically drive down that mountain and make sure that they get across the finish line as soon as possible. But the victor of today's stage is Owen Cole, our American rider. Same time as the other riders, which once again I disagree with, but it is what it is. Same time for them here, and I'm curious what those bonus seconds will do in the general classification. I think also that the sprinters would have had a very tough time in today's race, so they probably fell behind a bunch as well in the general classification. Owen Cole, winner of the 4th stage of the Tour of Magnificent Qinghai. Great result here for him. 4th place for Baptiste Grégoire, also a pretty good result for him. And then moves Owen Cole all the way towards the top step here in the general classification. Baptiste Grégoire also moving up to 4th, a good result here of our 2 riders. The rest of our riders moving down plenty of positions. You see Noah Isidora, who got across the finish line a bit later. Joseph Turnbull as well. Many of our riders falling down the rankings. Florian Carpentier, who was in 2nd, also falling down a lot of places here in the general classification. So tough race for those riders. It was too difficult of a mountainous stage for them, as you can see. Owen Cole also first in the all-riders classification, of course. But 2 riders in the top 10, a gap now of almost 2 minutes towards the number 18. So there's a big gap between those first 17 riders and number 18. Let's see if we can increase that gap here in the 5th stage of the Tour of the Magnificent King High. Trying to increase that gap to in between or intermediate racing, intermediate sprint points, I should say, where we could get some bonus seconds, and of course a very flat stage towards the end. So I'm certain that this will be another mass sprint here. Owen Cole also has decent sprinting statistics, so let's hope for a magnificent sprint here by him.
The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton.
A very flat stage indeed. We have a little bit of a hilly section. A little bit of a hilly section here at the beginning of this stage. My vocabulary today is not super great, but that is what it is. Trending out Baptiste Grégoire here in the first part of this stage. He has the mountain jersey, I think that is for him here in this stage, so why not protect that mountain jersey here as well with our French rider. Sending him out here in front in the breakaway to try and cover off any other breakaway riders in this stage. If he can get some bonus seconds later on, that would be great here with our French rider. And of course the breakaway got caught towards the end. No additional bonus seconds for Baptiste Grégoire either. So that means we are in a full-on sprint here towards that finish line. Once again, the predicted mass sprint will definitely happen here in today's race. So I'm certain that we can do a good result here. No Isidore and Owen Cole as the last riders here in the wheel, making sure that they are ready for a big sprint here. A little bit of a downhill section here at the end, which I didn't expect, which means we keep a lot of energy here with our riders, even though we are going all out, 3 kilometers remaining. So that means that we can keep pushing here, 4 riders left even. So we are looking very, very strong at the final part of this race. A very early sprint here by our riders, making sure that we get into as good of a position as possible. But we get blocked here by plenty of the other riders. Joseph Turnbull there on the left doing a good sprint here towards the end of this race. But Noah Isidore and Owen Cole behind plenty of other riders, unable to squeeze through any of the gaps. And Owen Cole here in 20th place at the end of this race. Joseph Turnbull in 6th as well, so no podium place here for him. He was looking very strong there towards the end of this race, hoping for a good result here with our British rider, but the 6th place is the best that he can get. And that means that we don't move up anything here in the general classification. We don't increase the gap either. Joseph Turnbull actually moving up a couple of positions, so that's good for him. But other than that, no great result here for the team. We are still in first, of course. We still have that lead to defend, so nothing too serious here for the team. But yeah, no good result here, no additional bonus seconds at the end of this stage, and honestly that is plenty okay, as we have plenty of races still left to go. Again, a very long tour here in China here, while we are currently in the 6th stage. Again, a very mountainous terrain, a very short terrain, but this stage will definitely be crucial for our riders.
And welcome. Mountain stages are especially interesting to watch. It's not by chance that the major events to have marked the history of cycling have taken place on mountainous terrain.
Yep, a very mountainous terrain basically, as it's just uphill here in today's stage. Only 60 kilometers though, so we'll try and put our riders into the peloton, try to make them survive for as long as possible. Again, I don't think a Heo or a Hong will do very well here in this stage, but maybe a Baptiste or Noah or Owen Cole. Owen Cole once again with fantastic statistics today. Look at how strong this man is, looking really, really good here in today's stage. +2 as well. So he will be our main rider once again here in this race. 60 kilometers to survive here for him, hoping for him to do a good result and make sure that we keep him as energized as possible for the final parts of today's race. That is what we will aim for. No additional bonus seconds here in the meantime for the team. And as we head now to the last 8 kilometers of the stage, it is a battle of energies here as riders try to jump away to make sure that they can get the victory here in today's race. We try to move forward here. We do a little bit, and this is not as smart of a move here by myself, as we try to catch some of these breakaway riders. We still have 6 kilometers to go. 2 riders remaining here now in the peloton, or in the main group here in this race. and that means that we want to survive here until that last part of this race. We want to keep that yellow bar for Owen Cole as full as possible, so you can do a good sprint here towards the end. 5 kilometers remaining, 2 riders up ahead, about a minute ahead here. Maybe I should just let them go here, but my drive to win is battling my sense of logic here. We want to stay up front here. We want to keep pushing. And with 4 kilometers to go, I do a big attack here with Owen Cole to try and split the group even further, trying to get a gap towards the peloton, towards these other riders here. It's a bit of a flatter section, so that's why I decide to attack here. Moving on to now one of the other riders here in the breakaway. Other riders back from the peloton join me once again as they keep pushing on as well. Many of them trying to stay with Owen Cole. Obviously the main rider, the most dangerous rider here in this stage. 2 kilometers remaining, still plenty of red bar left, but the yellow bar is almost done, so I don't know what to do here. I want to push on. I want to make sure that we don't get gapped here by many of the other riders. I accidentally press the sprint button here while I want to press the relax button here for Owen Cole, so he loses a lot of energy here as well. 1 kilometer remaining, 30 seconds up ahead is a breakaway rider, and move up here, push on here with Owen Cole. Try to give everything for that breakaway, or for that victory here in this stage, trying to catch up to that breakaway, but the breakaway rider makes it all the way towards the end, and Owen Cole gets across the line here as a second. So congratulations to that breakaway rider. Noah Isadora a little bit behind here in the slightly larger group now, not really called a peloton anymore, I would say, finishing across the line here 35 seconds later in 9th. So also a great result here for our French rider. But this does mean that Owen Cole loses the lead of the general classification, 7 seconds behind the Uruguayan rider. Now I had to Google that flag. I didn't know what the flag of Uruguay was apparently. That does mean that Noah Isadora moves up a bunch of positions, but for the general classification it is a bit of a shame. Baptiste Gavard also not doing well in the general classification, and obviously we want to keep that lead here with Owen Cole, only 7 seconds behind the number 1, so there's plenty of chances to get that lead back. 2 stages left to go. We are in the lead of the mountain points, so that's good at least here in today's race, so that's very nice. And first in the young riders classification as well. We want to be first in the general classification, and maybe we can do that here. This might not be the terrain of the Uruguayan rider, so maybe we can finish a sprint here in first, get those bonus seconds, and hopefully regain that first place here in the general classification. That will be the aim of today's stage. 2 intermediate sprints there as well for any bonus seconds. I don't think we'll get them, but let's see.
Hello and welcome. It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining, and of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
I don't think we will be the opportunists today. Obviously, I will send out Owen Cole just in case, because, hey, maybe we can get those bonus seconds in the intermediate sprint. That would be great. But that means that they need to let Owen Cole go here, or the peloton needs to not care about Owen Cole being ahead of the peloton, and with a second place here, 7 seconds off the lead once again. I don't think they will allow him to do that. You see the peloton racing after him immediately. In the meantime, we'll obviously defend our riders once again. Noah Isadora once again not in great condition here, a -2 in statistics, so not looking super strong in today's race. Again, he's really not having a great time here in China, while Owen Cole is trying to move forward here towards the breakaway group. Try to get there and make sure that he can get those bonus seconds. On towards that first intermediate sprint, he does manage to get towards that front group. 2 minutes now off the peloton, so that's pretty good here for him, and he does sprint towards the first place in that first intermediate sprint. So a great result here by our American rider. Hopefully he can stick on here towards that second intermediate sprint, but sadly the breakaway was already caught by then, or he was unable to follow in that part of the race. So we'll try and team up now for a great sprint here towards the end of this race. 6 kilometers remaining. You see our entire sprint train is going. The mountain riders trying to lead out the sprint train as much as possible, trying to take over as much energy as they can here, or take the energy away from many of the other sprinters here in this stage. To do a big attack here with Florian Carpentier to try and push any of the other teams as much as possible, because we still have a lot of energy remaining here on our riders, but that attack was a little bit too ambitious. It does trigger many of the other riders to do a very early sprint though, and that catches me off guard, sprinting very late here with Owen Cole. Not a good sprint here for the team. I got very much caught off guard here by these riders. A poor result here for us in the cards. I guess we will get 2 riders here in the top 20. Yes, 2 riders in the top 20 at least. So that is not too horrible for the stage, but that doesn't net us any bonus seconds, sadly. It also doesn't net the Uruguayan rider here any bonus seconds, so again, that's positive. That should move us up a couple of seconds here in the general classification. Let's see where we'll end up now in the general classification. 4 seconds off the lead, those 3 bonus seconds doing work, but with 1 stage left to go, everything's to play for. We can still gain that first place in the general classification. Baptiste Grégoire in 16th, no chance there for him to gain that top spot. Owen Cole will be our best bet in this last stage of the Tour of Magnificent Qinghai. And we'll have to do everything that we can to try and gain that lead here in this race. Still the lead over the Mountain Jersey and the Young Riders Jersey, so that's great. But those 4 seconds is what I want to close here in the final stage of this race, which will also end up in a mass sprint. You can see that very flat ending here at the end of this race, so it will definitely be something to sprint for, and we'll hope Owen Cole can do a good sprint at the end.
It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining, and of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
Exactly. You wouldn't think that it would be a monotonous day, but that's because of the mountain sections here at the beginning of this race. I wanted to send out anyone here in the team because the bonus seconds are quite late in this race, but maybe we could get some mountain points or try to get someone in the breakaway to cover off the breakaway here. So I'm trying to send out Noah Isidore, but it's very, very late here in the stage, as there are already 2 groups away here in the breakaway, about a minute away. So it'd be very difficult for Noah Isidore to catch up with these riders. I don't think he will here towards the end. Owen Cole looking strong once again, +3 in the statistics will defend him here in this race. Maybe we can catch the breakaway towards that first intermediate sprint, gain those bonus seconds, but I also doubt that, as it is a very big descent here of this mountain, so I'm sure that they will stay away here in this race. And we'll tee up for the mass sprint towards the end. But still, no, he's trying to get towards the breakaway, trying to give everything here to make it there, but the peloton is also kind of chasing behind him, and no, he does not have the energy here to maintain this pace here towards the end. So no chance here for Noah Isidore to get into that breakaway in today's stage. Last 8 kilometers of this stage now, you can see the breakaway still ahead. 5 riders remaining here in the breakaway, but they will not last all the way towards the end. They did a big effort here to try and maintain that lead, but no chance here to get that result here for these riders. One rider trying to attack once again, trying to stay away here with 5 kilometers remaining. There might be a chance for him to do so, but I honestly very much doubt it, as all the sprint teams are trying to rush forward to make sure that it will be a mass sprint and try to get a victory here with their sprinter. Our sprinter, as said before, will be Owen Cole, our American rider here, who will try to sprint towards a top result here. Even a 3rd place would be enough here to try and get the lead in the general classification, but he's losing the wheel here of Noah Isidore. Again, these riders doing a very early sprint here, which catches me off guard. Owen Cole stuck behind Noah Isidore, our French rider, blocking our American rider. A poor sprint here from him. Can he get a 3rd place here towards the end? A 4th place here by Owen Cole. Not the result that we wanted. It was looking so good here towards the end. He passed Noah Isidore, making sure that he could get a good result here, but he got blocked by the French rider for too long, and that means that Owen Cole does not win the general classification. Best climber in the mountains, at least, so we got that jersey, which is great, the trophy and the flowers here for our American rider for his result here in the mountains, but not any additional bonus seconds for that victory. 4 seconds off the lead. A poor result here in the last race. It's still a 4th place, so we gain the points classification as well. We get the points jersey as well, thanks to our result. It is something, I guess. It is a pretty decent result here for Owen Cole. I shouldn't be too negative. A 2nd place in the general classification and 3 jerseys in this tour is a great result here for the team. We might not have won it, but a 2nd place and 3 jerseys is pretty damn good here, and I should be proud of Owen Cole, who did a fantastic result in this 8-day tour. So very, very good here for our rider. A 4th place by Owen Cole. 5th place also by Noé Isidora. I missed that. Our French rider coming in 5th there. So great result here for him. As you can see, the rest of our team finishing a little bit later here in this race. No huge time gaps towards the remaining rider, so that means that Owen Cole here in 2nd stays in 2nd as well. The rest of our riders also staying in a similar position as well, so no big changes here in the last stage of the Tour of Magnificent Qinghai. We tried our best to make sure that we get that victory in the general classification, but the 4th place nets us the points jersey. We already had the mountain jersey and we kept that mountain jersey as well, so that's great for us. And we have the young riders jersey as well, so a great result here for the team. You see me checking out where the Uruguayan rider was in the end, around the 19th position, so no additional bonus seconds for him, and that means that those 4 seconds that we have left means that we get another 2nd place here in today's episode. Yeah, again, we wanted that win, we wanted that victory, but it ended up here at a stage victory here for Owen Cole and not a general classification victory. Let's see if we can do a little bit better here in the Tour of Austria. A lot of mountain stages here in this stage, obviously, as it is the Tour of Austria, but there are sprint opportunities. Adrian Viol being one of the favorites here for today's stage, hoping that he can do a good result here in the final section of this race.
The route is fairly hilly, so there should be plenty of action.
Again, it is the Tour of Austria, so mountains and hills are expected. It will be a very tough race here for us. And that's why we brought also a lot of our mountain riders here with Jaewon Jun and Paul Fietske, hoping for them to do well in this race. We want to defend them here and make sure that they are well protected. Adrian Viol was one of the favorites, but his statistics are abhorrent today, -2 as well, so not looking super strong here in today's stage. Our riders are also too far in the back of the peloton to really do anything in the attack, so that's a bit of a shame here for us. We also have Sergej Sabakovsky, so if he can survive those mountains, he can try and fight for a sprint victory as well. Just let's do our best, try to survive here in today's stage and try to regain as much energy as possible. Well, let's move on to the last part of today's stage. As you can see here, Adrian Viol did not survive the last mountain section, and we're trying to push forward here in this stage, trying to catch up to 2 riders that have attacked here on the final part of that hill and are still away here in this stage. We are giving it everything here with 5 kilometers left to go, making sure that we tee our riders up for as good of a sprint as possible. Sergej Sabakovsky has actually survived these mountains rather well, and he can do a good sprint here towards the end. This is the last little hill section before the final part of this race. It will be a downhill section from here as well. One rider still ahead, 20 seconds around remaining. If he can get into that downhill section, I'm sure he can stay away, and he does manage to get into that downhill section. So it will be a very difficult stage here, or very difficult result here for us towards the end of the stage. We're sprinting here with Sergej Sabakovsky and Paul Fietske to try and pass him here towards the end. 6 seconds remaining. He tries to just stay ahead here. Sergej Sabakovsky using his super boosters to try and overtake him, but now a 2nd place here by our Finnish rider. A good result here either way. A very difficult stage here for the sprinters, but Sergej doing a great job and getting that 2nd place here towards the end of this stage. Paul Fietske also getting a 9th place, so a good result here from our German rider. No time difference there as well, which is good. Jaewon Jun getting across the line here as 14th. A pretty good result here by the team, to be honest. And that means that we are in a good position also for the general classification. As you can see, a lot of our riders actually getting a little bit later across the line. Kim Yeon-suk here, the worst of our team, in 121st. So not a great result here for our Korean rider there. And many of these other riders actually falling behind the peloton as well. 70 now 4 seconds behind the number 1 thanks to that sprinting result. The remainder of our riders in 9th and 14th here. So 3 riders in the top 15. Around 10 seconds towards the number 1. 70 obviously 4 seconds towards that number 1. And maybe we can get an even better result here in the 2nd stage of the Tour of Austria. Once again, a very flat finish here. So maybe one for the sprinters, maybe one for Sergej Sabakovsky. If they can survive those 3 little hills towards the end of this race, I'm sure they will do a good result. And if they cannot, then at least we have some other riders that can cover for them, so it should be fun.
To all. The route is fairly hilly, so there should be plenty of action.
Okay, thanks, commentator, for the very short introduction. Not that hilly, however. Again, it's just those 3 hills at the end that will be tricky for our riders. I'm sending out Jaewon Jun here at the beginning of this race. He is 10 seconds behind the number 1, so maybe he can get some bonus seconds in that intermediate sprint. It is a downhill section at the beginning here as well, so it should be pretty okay for him to get away here in this in the breakaway, I should say. And then he should have enough energy for those last 3 little hills. Again, he is a hill/mountain rider here, so should be fine for him. In the meantime, we'll protect Paul Fitzke and Severy Savagowski in this race. Obviously, Paul Fitzke in the sense of if Severy Savagowski doesn't make it across those hills, then Paul Fitzke can try and go for the sprint. If Severy does make it across the hills, then obviously he can sprint for a good result. That is what we will aim for. In the meantime, Jaewon Jun will try his best in the breakaway, try to get some additional bonus seconds, and move on in the general classification. That is the goal for today. As you can see here towards the end, however, the breakaway was caught, and it has been a struggle here for Jaewon Jun in this race. Adrien Viol, however, the French rider with poor statistics as well. You see me not doing a very good sprint train as I put Jaewon Jun a little bit up front too early here, but I'm hoping that Viol will pull the train faster than our mountain rider. That would normally be the better goal here. Diego all the way up front here, and Jaewon Jun is picking up every other rider to try and move them towards that front position in these last 5 kilometers. Adrien Viol already out of energy, however, and it will be a very tough race here for our French rider towards the end of this race. He will need to do a big pull here to get our riders into a forward motion to get a good result as quickly as possible. In this, you see me not trusting our French rider to do that with the energy that he has left, so I put Fitzke on the front here very, very early, sprinting with 1 kilometer to go. A bit of a corner here, actually positioning Severy Savagowski rather well here in this sprint. He jumps from the wheel of Paul Fitzke, activates the super boosters, but can he get across the line as first? It is a very difficult scenario, and he does not manage here at the end. A second place once again for our Finnish sprinter here in this race. He was looking so strong here, but a second place here for Severy, a 7th place for Paul, and I think around a 10th place here for Jaewon Jun. It does move Severy all the way up to first, however. Very, very good job. Those bonus seconds catapulting him into first. 2 of our other riders also in the top 10. The other riders of our squad getting across the line a little bit later, and you see that makes it move our riders a little bit up or downwards in the general classification. Not too big of a deal, as we still have a couple of races left. 7th place for Paul Fitzke at the moment, and a 9th for Jaewon Jun. So 3 riders in the top 10. Again, the mountains will be crucial here. I think those will matter the most. Severy being in first here is not a good indication that he will win this tour, but it's a good exit position at the moment for our team. As we head now into that 3rd stage, a big mountain here in the middle and an upward finish. It should be for one of the punchers. I wish I brought Noah Isidore, but once again he was busy in a different race. So let's see here what we can do in this 3rd stage. We need to survive that mountain in the middle once again. I think that will be too difficult here for Severy, so I will be counting on Paul Fitzke and Jaewon Jun for that final part.
Today is a day for the climbers. The team leaders should have their work cut out, and they're going to have to count on the support of their teammates. Alone, it looks difficult, unless an ideal opportunity offers itself.
Exactly. It will be a very difficult race here for us, especially for Severy Savagowski, who has a -2 in statistics as well. I'm sending him out here early in the breakaway to try and get a bit of a lead on the peloton, hopefully get a head start on that mountain, so it won't be too difficult for him while the rest of the peloton, or if the rest of the peloton decides to push, then at least he is a bit ahead of the peloton. Hopefully he will make it. But I can tell you it will be a very difficult case here for Severy as you defend Jaewon Jun and Paul Fitzke here in today's stage. Paul Fitzke looking absolutely amazing statistics-wise in today's stage, so I'm betting everything on him here. The sprinters will have the most difficult time here in this stage. Again, hoping that Severy survives, but as you can see here, towards the end of this race, 7 kilometers remaining. Severy, no chance in that mountain area. Adrien Viol actually went on our wheel for quite a while here, only 2 minutes behind the peloton, which is a surprise. You see an intermediate sprint here at the end of this race, so you see me pushing hard here with our riders to get those bonus seconds at the end. 4 kilometers remaining here, all the bonus seconds here for the team, so great job here by us hoping that we will do well here in this little mountainous terrain. A little bit over 3 kilometers remaining, so I was hoping that I could use Diego a little bit longer here in this section, but the sprint for those bonus seconds was not the ideal scenario for us. It exhausted our riders too much here. Still over a kilometer remaining, and I attack and sprint here with Paul Fietske way too early, using up all his energy. Thankfully, the energy gel is in effect rather at a beneficial time here for us. And it means that Paul Fietske stays in front. Can he keep in front here? You see the attack by the Swiss rider trying to move all the way in front of Paul Fietske. Can our German rider remain here at the final part of this sprint? Yes, he does. Whoa, a very close finish here at the line. Paul Fietske as first here in this third stage in the Tour of Austria. Great result here for our German rider. It was very, very close. He almost got me beaten there towards the line. I honestly thought I sprinted too early, but that energy gel, making sure that he had some energy left over there towards the end of this race. A great result here for Paul Fietske, winning the third stage here in the Tour of Austria. Not a lot of seconds in the gap towards the other riders. You see here 6 seconds here towards the Portuguese rider and a couple of other riders, so that should be beneficial actually for him. And those bonus seconds, of course, on the line as well. Let's see what that will do for the general classification. Jaewon Jun finishing in 13th, 24 seconds behind Paul Fietske. Diego, what a great result for our Italian rider, showing that he can do well here, also finishing 24 seconds behind Paul Fietske. So in the end, a good result here for all of our riders. Diego moving up a ton of positions, 19 positions, all the way into 9th. Those bonus seconds helping him as well, making him pass Jaewon Jun here actually. So a good result here for him. Paul Fietske moving up to 2nd as well. So in a very good spot here once again with our riders. 3 riders in the top 10 at the moment. Kim Yeon-sok suffering in these stages, not made for these stages. Our old sprinter not doing as well, 30 minutes behind Paul Fietske at this moment, so no good result for him, that is for sure. Still in first with the points classification with Severy Savakovsky. Paul Fietske also moving up here in the mountain classification. Again, not our goal, so I'm fine with him not being in first there. And second in the young riders classification, as the Swiss rider here is in first. Let's move on here toward the 4th stage. Again, one for the sprinters, very, very flat here. A little bit of mountains towards the end, a little bit of hills towards the end, but that should not block the way of our sprinters. There are bonus seconds here at the first intermediate sprint, very close here to the start of this race, so we'll try and go for those. And in the meantime, we'll obviously protect Paul Fietske, who is getting closer and closer to the lead of this tour.
The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton.
Like I said, bonus seconds here at the beginning of this stage, so I sent out Paul Fietske to try and get those bonus seconds. It's about 9 kilometers towards that first intermediate sprint, so if he can get those bonus seconds, that would be great. He is 5 seconds off the number 1, so getting those bonus seconds will move him 2 seconds off the number 1, which again doesn't mean that he will take over that position, but brings him closer towards that pivotal first place here in the general classification. That is what we're aiming for. Obviously, those little hills towards the end are annoying, but I don't think they will form too big of an obstacle here for our sprinters. These statistics, however, will form a bigger obstacle as Severy has a -1, so it will be a very tough scenario here for him. Paul Fietske makes it towards the first intermediate sprint and easily wins it here in today's stage. So a good job here by Paul Fietske. Making sure that he gets those bonus seconds, and that means that that's it for him here, moving him back towards the peloton, making sure that he doesn't exhaust himself too much. Now on to that last little mountain section. You see how difficult it is here. Riders are pushing very, very hard, but as long as we get across this mountain, I'm sure that we can get a good sprint performance in this race. The energy gel's already used on our sprinters. All they have to do is survive towards this little downhill section. I'm sure that they will regain some energy here in that downhill section, make sure that they can do a good sprint here. 5 kilometers still remaining here in this race. You see me moving up Jaewon Jun as well here, making sure that I position Severy for a final sprint in this race. He will be our main sprinter, I'm sure, but Paul Fietske with fantastic statistics as well, so you never know, maybe Severy can drag him along towards the second place, get some additional bonus seconds, propel him into that first place. A little bit over 2 kilometers remaining, or under 2 kilometers remaining. as we sprint towards that final section of this race. Severy sprinting very, very early here, and Paul Fitzke now jumping from his wheel. Severy losing out on the energy, but Morgado here, the Portuguese rider, passing Paul Fitzke here at the line. A second place for our German rider, yes indeed, but not the second place that I was hoping for in this race. Hoping for a second place behind Severy Zawakowski, but still a second place here. The Portuguese rider in first, making sure that he gets all the 10 bonus seconds for the first place. It does move Severy, or it must move Paul Fitzke all the way up into first, which is a great result here for us. Very, very good. The rest of our riders also moving up a couple of positions actually, so a very beneficial race here for the team. Still in second place here in the team classification. That's okay. Morgado moving up all the way into first after that sprint, so good result here for him. First in the general classification for Paul Fitzke. J1 June you saw also moving up a couple of positions there, so he's now in 8th. On to the last stage of the Tour of Austria, where we will defend that lead as well as we can. An uphill finish here, a very difficult uphill finish, where we will give everything to defend that lead in this race. We only have a couple of seconds on to the Swiss rider and the Portuguese rider, who are excellent climbers, so I'm hoping that Paul Fitzke has good statistics today and can defend his lead.
Welcome. The profile of the route is a fairly mixed bag, so everybody should find a section to their pleasing.
Everyone except for the sprinters, I am imagining. It will be a very difficult race here for them. A lot of hills, a lot of mountain terrain here. So Severy and VL will be suffering a lot today. Thankfully, Paul Fitzke once again with fantastic statistics here in today's race. We only have a 4-second lead towards the number 2, a 6-second lead towards the number 3. So it will be tricky for us to defend it. You see me turning on the top 10 of the general classification as well, making sure that no one jumps away here and tries to get those intermediates or to get those bonus seconds here in this intermediate race, and thankfully none of them did. So I can turn that off once again and focus on this race here with Paul Fitzke, making sure that he is secured in this peloton. I'm happy for that breakaway to go away, get those bonus seconds out of the way here for these other riders, and we can focus here on the final part of this stage. As you can see here, many of our riders exhausted already, 3 of our riders all the way in the back. Adrien Vial once again still part of this peloton. It is very surprising how our French rider keeps with the peloton here in these stages. I would expect him to suffer much more. And we are in the last 4 kilometers of this race. We still have 2 riders here in this lead out train. We don't want to use up our energy too much, as I know that this little hill will be very steep, and we want to make sure that our riders are positioned towards the front. But look at that basically gradient here. It will be very difficult, and average, I think the highest here is 14% in this stage. That will destroy any bit of energy that we do have in this race. You see many of these riders attacking here, making sure that they try to get as good of a position as possible. A little bit over a kilometer remaining, and I do a big attack here with Paul Fitzke, or try to, but you see his energy just runs out immediately. He is sprinting, he's doing his best here to try and get towards the line. The energy gel finally activating. Morgado, the Portuguese rider, up in front of us now in the final part of this stage. Paul Fitzke doing everything to try and get towards that rider. He is 6 seconds ahead of Paul Fitzke. He does not need to get that second or first place. That would ruin our general classification here. That would make us lose the lead here in this race. But the Portuguese rider is just too good here in these mountains, and Paul Fitzke is unable to get any result here in this race. A first place for the Portuguese rider. A very good result here by Team UAE. So congratulations to them, but it is disappointing here for Paul Fitzke, who will lose the lead in the general classification today, sadly. 8th place in the end for Paul Fitzke, 13th for J1 June, and you see Paul Fitzke moving down to 2nd place. J1 June making sure that he keeps his 8th position here in this race, however, so 2 riders in the top 10 is still pretty good, but we were on par for that first place. Sadly, the Portuguese rider just too strong here for us. Diego moving down a lot of positions as well here in this race. The remainder of our riders moving either up or down a couple of positions. It doesn't matter too much because we won't get any points in these races. for those riders. But in the end, 2 riders in the top 10 is something to be happy about here with our team. So good job in the end here by Paul Fietske and Jaewon Jun. And honestly, a good result here also by our Italian rider, who showed some form here in some of these stages, helped us out a lot in these mountains. Second and third place in the points classification as well. We are obviously nowhere in the mountain classification. We weren't really going for that. And a second place in the young riders classification as well. The poor results move us down in the team classification as well. So we lost a lot of jerseys here in this final stage, but we did our best, and the second place is the best that we can do. 4 additional victories here in these races, but a lot of second places in today's episode. So really aiming for those wins, but second places everywhere it seems to be in all these stages and all these tours. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride is an expression that comes to mind here. We did our best, but second place is the best that we can do. A good amount of points, however, for Owen Cole and Paul Fietske. Great results here by our riders. Slowly, this is, I think, one of the bigger episodes where they, again, decrease the gap to Noah Isadora, our French rider. So they are on his heels, getting closer and closer here in the points classification. And we did move up a lot here as well in the team classification. You see here, moving up 4 spots now. A big gap towards number 10. A lot of difference there in those points. But we moved past a lot of those teams that we wanted to pass. And that's a great result here for us. So bravo here by KoRail, moving up a bunch of positions now. A bit of a gap now towards also the number 12. So we have a bit of margin. And let's see if we can extend that in the coming episode. That's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode full of second places. Hopefully this episode is also second place in your heart. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you at the next one. Love you all. Goodbye.